What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. For those of you that are new, we're going to be speaking on the Virgos, as you see from the title of this video. Let's begin. So we have Virgos, ruled by trickery Mercury. These earthly signs make their list and check it a million times. Virgo symbolizes the Virgin, are all about perfectionism. They are one of the most detail-oriented signs in the zodiac and will not stop until the job is done the right way. They are often the most analytical and most organized in the astrology wheel. They have many hidden talents, though they are often afraid to share them with others because of fear of imperfection. But because of fear of imperfection, meaning they're scared to share it because they're scared that they're gonna look like they're messing up, right? But when they loosen up and let others in, they are amazing friends and that you'll have for life. So this is just a slight description of Virgo pertaining to you or someone that if you may be watching this video for just information as far as the Virgos goes, right? Virgo reading, we're going to be doing a reading for the manifestation deck. That's going to be coming from this one specifically, Moonology, right? I like to give you guys the, a nice little display of what the cards I'm going to be reading. That way, if you guys want to go copy guys some little tarot cards or manifestation or oracles, whatever the case is, you guys can go do so, right? You just give me a second. All right, let's begin. Here we go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we'll begin. All right, here we go. What do we have for the Virgos? Let me put this up per side. Cool. First one we have for you guys is attuned to the divine, right? It's important that you guys connect in with your spiritual selves. A lot of times we often think of when it comes to spirituality, it's got to be some large organized event, things like that, but this could just be believing, right? Belief system. Tap into your belief system, meaning your everyday lives, believing that things can go your way, believing that things will go your way, or not even just go your way specifically, but it will work itself out. Having that kind of belief system is more of like an optimistic thinking that will help events to take place. For an example, if you tell yourself, look, things will happen the way that they're supposed to happen, right? And you leave it, you will see yourself putting things into place, especially if you're a practical person and a spiritual person as well. Like me, I'm a believer, but I, of course, put practical things in place like routines, schedules, what time I'm getting up, how I'm going to get up, alarms going to wake me up so then I can be on time and I can be on schedule. So then I know for a fact things are getting done, but I still give an optimistic mentality to keep me moving forward so that I'm not focused on what I don't have, but I'm focused on, okay, I just need to do these things and then everything's going to work out. You know what I mean? So it's like finding that balance between it. And you're tapping into yourself by believing that, okay, everything will work out. So for you guys that are tuned to the divine or you're learning to attune to the divine, this could be a message for you guys, right? What else do we have for the Virgos? Okay, we have focus on the positivity, right? I was just speaking to my wife the other day, and I mentioned on this channel specifically when it comes on to focus on your obligations, not your situation, right? Oftentimes, no matter what situation you're in, you will get depressed if you're in a negative or era or a negative situation or things are not going the way you planned it. And I say plan it because a lot of times things sometimes they don't go your way because better things to come, right? So we gotta have that mentality. We gotta be optimistic until our dying day, until our last day, because the worst case comes to worst is you lose your life or whatever the case is, God forbid anything to happen to you guys and all that. But that's the worst case scenario. So it's like for us to go through our day-to-day lives on some like, oh, things are not going the way, or when there's people that are sick, that are starving under, especially if you're not amongst them few, we should always be more so on the optimistic side, especially when it comes down to business and monetary gain and things like that that are not really going to affect our health and safety, for an example, where we can always make a way. There's always other organizations to assist us. I feel like it's mostly better to focus on the positive side when it comes on the things that are not necessarily affecting our like actual human life, right? So things don't go your way and all of that. Try not your best not to focus on what he say, she say, all of that craziness, like all that drama. Like leave that for people that want to indulge in that. You know what I mean? You just gotta focus on what you need to obtain to. Focus on those key points that make yourself happy. Me personally, I like to have a clean environment. I like to have cooked meals and all that. I like to So because I like these things, right, that make me happy, I'm going to try to make things shake to put in that perspective. I'm going to try to make a routine, make a schedule to so that I can be on time for events, so I can, clean my environment, or a bunch of different things. But my point is, you gotta focus on this positivity. You gotta focus on what you can control, and don't focus on what you can't. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Even if you're in the worst situation, you got kicked out or whatever the case is, focus on, all right, where's my next, home state? How can I make this new home state better? How can I improve it? How can I put up lights or whatever to make my environment better? Like, just focus on things that you can do that in a positive light. Kind of like being optimistic. What else do we have? Oh, what's this one? Hold on. We have make time for self-love. We're gonna pull this one. We have make time for self-love, right? Even if you're in a relationship, you can't give what you don't have, right? You can't give love if you don't have love. Same way, if I ask you for cookies and you ain't got cookies, you can't give me no cookies. The exact same format. So it's important that you guys spend a lot of time. You can't see up here on my board, right? But like I said, you guys, I am very much believing and things like that, but I'm also very practical as well, right? I still have a routine, I still have a schedule and things like that I've actually created. That's why if you been on this journey with me for a long time, you see that I'm pulling myself together more, because I'm not focusing on what I don't have. I'm focusing on what I do have and how can I make the best out of what I have. So for an example, I have these timings in place, right? And in between those times, like let's say I'm doing a video at 8:30. In between from 8:30 to 9, let's say 9 o'clock to 9:30, I am trying to study, read, educate, and I am educating myself, thereby bettering myself, thereby not just bettering myself, but allowing myself to improve myself, right? So then when me and my twin flame actually connect again, right? Even though, so when we guys connect again, we have stories to share. We have different ideas, right? We have different details to share with one another. And that's important. So it's important that you guys do spend a lot of time, not just even if you're not in a relationship or not, spend a lot of time focusing on yourself. And it's okay if you never really get to spend a lot of time with people that you care about and you're always on the road, or you feel like you're always working. Make time for them, of course, but it's far more beneficial for everybody's sake, for everybody to have their own little time to focus on themselves. Self-care, all of that stuff, taking a shower. You know how you guys got to take a shower and all of that stuff. You got to be away or whatever. Put things into perspective, into place in your life, your everyday life, so that you can spend time on yourself, right? So you can build yourself up. Okay? What do we have for the Virgos? Okay, we have let your fears dissolve, right? Those fearful moments, they're going to happen, they're going to take place, but it's important to try to look past them. Try to work through those type of situations, and they will naturally dissolve. Those fearful moments, again, be practical about situations, but whenever you're scared about something, just know that you just got to work through them, right? And eventually they will go away. So you're just kind of working through them. We have speak your word into being. Oh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. I indulge. I used to indulge heavily into music, right? And this is one of my favorite, because I really feel like if you speak things into existence, negatively or positively, they will come true. If not, you're creating a far more reason for things to happen, right? So speak good things into your beginning. Speak positivity. Speak fulfillment. Anything that you wish or desire, I encourage you guys to speak those things into reality. Right? What else do we have for the Virgos? We have think it through, right? Again, practical sense, right? Thinking it through. I will tell you guys, I don't care what people try to tell me or whatever the case is, do some reading. You know what I'm saying? Do some reading. Do something that's going to educate yourself, something that's going to make you and force you to think. I was at the barbershop and we guys were talking about it, and I said the difference between reading. This is my belief. You don't have to quote me on this, but I believe that the difference between reading and watching TV is television shares and it gives you that imagery already up front, right? So you ain't really got to think about it. But with reading, you kind of have to visualize what's being, especially if you're talking about stories. you have to visualize what's taking place. Like it was these, I think it was these books called The Hunger Games, right? If I'm not mistaken. And you kind of visualize what was going on as they was talking about the people running through the forest and things like that. So it's just a kind of different level of, when you have to use your brain, you have to really think. And this can help you in other situations to actually think of problems. Think of, when you're in a problematic situation, you can actually think of problems. Think of problems to solve. Like you think of solutions. My bad. I'm sorry. You think of solutions, right? So it's important. You're right. So think it through. Whatever the situation is, try to think about it before you react. You have a far more better chance of making better decisions if you think about it than if you just react. Because if you just react, chances are you're reacting off emotions, not off of mental guidance. So think about it. Let's see what's the best solution. Then you can react to it. And this is with word of mouth, whatever. Because trust me, from my personal experience, I've had a lot more better responses verbally, physically, all of that stuff through when I thought about it versus when I just blurred it out or when I just done something. You know what I mean? Because half the time we're reacting off emotions and how we feel at the moment, which might not even be appropriate or accurate to what's being, you know what I'm saying, what's happening, right? So just keep that in mind. Next for the Virgos, we have attend to the details. I've mentioned this just now recently about my schedules and stuff like that, right? Now, this is a spiritual channel, but I also believe in being practical as well, right? So attend to details is like, you want to be on time and things like that. So a detailed thing for me personally is creating an alarm system that wakes me up in the morning and things like that. So even those small things that you might not think is important, like, like I said, reading. A lot of you guys probably say, well, I have a 12-hour shift I got to do and things like that. But you can still find an hour, 30 minutes out of your day to read. Find those little moments. Find those details. Those details are like painting, right? Details in life is like painters, how they put like certain, marks and things like that. Certain pen marks on their drawings and art, whatever the case is, so that they can make the best creative approach. Or you ever see like a producer video where they're sitting up there with music and they're putting those, or you're listening to music and you hear all those little melodies and beats and phrases that takes place into creative or creating a project. These are those little small things, right? So it's important to, when you're going through life, to start to recognize what you do in your day and how can you create the best result possible. Now, what you do today will improve 2-3 years down the line, but it's important to recognize those small details that you do. Right, so just keep that in mind. Attend to the details, attend to those small things as well, because those small things can actually make up and save you a lot of time. Especially if you're doing things, if you're doing things the right way or not the right way. There's no right or wrong way to really live life, but if you're attempting to try your best to kind of focus on those small things as well, those minor things that can assist you, such as learning or something. All right, and the final one we have is practice gratitude. This is a big one. Right? Because it don't matter what you guys achieve in life and things like that. If you guys don't be grateful for what you have and what you have accomplished, then none of that will matter, right? So it's always important to be grateful for the smaller things to the bigger things. So just practice gratitude, practice being grateful for every little moment, every little breath, and all the big things will seem so much bigger, right? But if you go through life and just accept and don't be appreciative, then you're not going to feel the same way, right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. See y'all soon.